I come here and like there's more nice people than not
I
nice.
agree.
Yeah.
More nice people than not nice people, and like the people that are good examples for me and like that I have my groove with, like the amount of love that they show me and like I have for them is just crazy, and like that love only comes from loving Jesus first.
Yeah. Here in the Burt Studio on the campus of Hannibal-LaGrange University, we use our show, The Community, to highlight the different aspects of the HLGU community. I'm your host, Alexa Bedford, and for today's episode, we are highlighting the HLGU softball community. I'm sitting down with two of my fellow softball teammates, both freshmen this year, Megan Riggs from Columbia, Missouri, and Faith Hansen all the way from Safford, Arizona. We are here to talk about the game we love, the faith that grounds us, and the lessons we've learned both on and off the field. Whether you're an athlete, a believer, or someone who just loves a good story, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. First, can you both introduce yourself, share a little bit about your background, and how you first got into softball?
I'm Faith Hansen. I am from Arizona. I originally started doing softball when I was 8 years old, and I got my inspiration from my big sister, Delenn Hansen. She played as a catcher, and I always thought it'd be kind of cool if I was the pitcher and she was the catcher, but I ended up starting it right when she decided not to do it anymore. So it kind of crushed my dreams a little bit, but I kept going. I ended up getting coaching all over Arizona and just started building up who I am today from that, I guess. I decided to come to HLGU to kind of get out of my small town that I'm from and to get opportunities that I have never really been able to get.
Hi, I'm Megan Riggs, also known as Barbie because my favorite color is pink, and I started playing softball when I was in 5th grade because all my friends were playing it, and I just kind of played every sport at the time to hang out with my friends more. And yeah.
How do you balance academic sports and having a social life if you have one?
So honestly, I don't sleep. It was really easy when we had morning practices. Softball was in the mornings, and then I went to school and I got all my homework done before 11, and then from around 11 to 12, 1-ish, it was my social life and then also just the weekends that we don't have games, taking advantage of that and trying to have as much of a social life as I can those weekends.
I feel like at first I didn't. I was just mostly focusing on softball and academics, so I had a hard time building a social life because I was still figuring out my routine, my day-to-day life. But for me now, my social life is just the girls on the softball team.
Yeah, that's how I am too. I feel
like it's easy because we have the
time.
same schedule.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
And we
classes
find our
or some-
social life between games. Like, we do funny stuff during the hotel stays, like go on the roof.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a favorite memory from this season so far?
Yes, my favorite memory is actually, it's happened a couple times, but recently last weekend, our senior friend Anita, so we like to go to Fazoli's a lot. And After games, yes, it's so good. Anyways, they have those unlimited breadsticks, and I fear she gets hit in the face with them a lot.
Yeah, she does. I got it.
She asks for it, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, I've never seen her laugh that hard. Okay, what do you guys think being on the team teaches you that you don't learn in the classroom?
Definitely how to fight your own battles. Like, usually when you're in the classroom, you could just raise your hand and ask your professor for help. But when you're on the field and you make a mistake, like, you have to learn yourself and think of what you have to do to be better. Like, especially as a pitcher, you're independent. I feel like that's one of the most independent roles on the team.
I agree.
You have to work on your technique and how to pitch a strike, hit the spot. Oh, you hit your spot and you had perfect technique, but they still hit it. Like,
Yeah.
you just have
You
to
can do
think
things
all the time.
perfect, but your job depends on someone else, the batter.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's just not just how you play.
Yeah.
I think for me it's that, so like in the classroom, if I work hard, I see the results of it like pretty much all of the time, whereas not necessarily on this team, but like former teams, I would work hard and beat out a person in a position, but they would still play over me.
I agree
sometimes.
with that.
And that
is
was
so-
out of my control. Like there are some things in sports where it's completely out of my control, whereas in the classroom, I'm in control of how I answer this question on a test.
That is so true.
Mhm.
I've never thought about that because I don't work hard in the classroom, but but I see where you're coming from.
No,
there.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I see it too, like if I pitch really good or something, or I hit good and I don't get to play at all that game, I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I feel like softball is so much more deeper than what it's supposed to be. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
like the new TikTok trend that's like, I forget that this is how it's supposed to be. And it's like
Mhm.
people just having fun.
Yeah. And in the classroom, it's kind of straightforward. You study, you do your homework, you do your work and all that, and then
It's like the same thing.
you
every
get
time.
your results. Like, it's bound to be that, because
I feel like even in softball, you don't always get results.
yeah,
Like you don't know why
Mhm.
things happen, but like, yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, how do you guys stay grounded in your faith during tough games, busy schedules, or personal setbacks like being taken out?
I take 3 to 5 seconds of being upset, because for me, if I hold back being upset, it just gets worse. So I let 3 to 5 seconds of being upset. And sometimes, like, if it's not in the middle of the game, like after a game, like I'll give myself 5 to 10 minutes just to cool off. And then I remember, like, why I'm here, how I got here, and it's because of prayer and seeking what God wants me to do. And I just have to, like, remember that, because it's so easy to forget, but you have to have faith to remember too.
Have
faith. You have to have faith.
No. Same wavelength.
Okay, I feel like I struggle with that, and I wait until it gets bad to where I'm like, I have no other option, and then I pray it out, and then I ask for God's help. I try to do it on my own, which isn't the way it should be done, but I'm slowly learning the lesson of to, instead of worrying about it and letting it all build up on me, to just throw it all on God.
Yeah, that's good. Do either of you have any superstitions or things you do on the field that the audience might find interesting?
If I do bat, I do draw an eye in the dirt with my bat before I get into the batter's box for my boyfriend Isaac from home.
But fun fact, neither of us know that because Coach
I don't
doesn't
get
let
to
us
bat.
bat.
Yeah, he doesn't
I've
let me
never
bat,
seen
and
her
like,
hit IRL.
and it makes me sad because I love hitting.
Me too.
I love hitting.
I would love to hit and not even play the field.
Yes, I rather do that.
Yeah.
I know
Really?
I've been pitching forever,
Yes.
but I love hitting so much, and I take so much pride in my hitting. Like,
yes.
I
Wait,
would
so
rather
you guys
just
would
hit.
rather
I feel
be
like
on offense than defense?
yeah,
Yes.
and I feel like I'm
I'm opposite.
like I'm better at hitting for longer than like
yes,
pitching.
like I'm more consistent
More
with
consistent.
my hitting.
Yes, I'm more consistent with my hitting than I am pitching.
Like for pitching,
Just-
you have to think about so much all the time, but with hitting, like it
And-
just comes more muscle memory for me than
yeah,
That makes
anything.
sense.
yeah. Barbie, do you have any?
Yes. So I have one for offense, one for defense. So for defense, if I make an error, like physical or mental error, I will take my cleat and I'll literally draw a line in the dirt. Or if it's turf, I'll still draw a line and I'll step over it. Draw a line and get over it. And then it's next play, forget about it.
I love that.
And then for when I'm hitting, I'll be in the batter's box. I say the sky is blue. Okay, and hold on with me. So it's the concept of I'm a good ball player. Like I'm good. Like yes, there are days where I have bad days and there's days where I have good days. But the idea of that the sky is blue, that's a fact. I'm a good ball player, that's a fact. Yes, there's days where the sunset's really pretty, the sky's pink, and then there's also days where it's going to be stormy out. But at the end of the day, if somebody asks you what color is the sky, you say the sky's blue. And so I'm a
That
good
is
ball
so
player. And
cute.
so when I'm in the box, I say the sky is blue.
You've
now
said
I
that.
know what to say to you, like, when you're down or anything.
Yeah.
This isn't like a superstition thing, but this is something like something Barbie says,
Psychological.
and it's psychological that really helps me, is something that I had to like learn, good or bad, like I have to move on. So there were times where girls on my like travel ball team or high school team would hit home runs, and they tried to hit a home run every single time they like after that, and I noticed that they like struck out every time.
Yeah, because you can't go in the box thinking, oh, I'm going to hit a home run.
Yes.
Yeah.
Base hit.
And like I, as a pitcher, like I also noticed, like even if I get a strikeout, the next girl can still hit a home run.
You don't
off
look,
of me.
strikeout.
Yeah.
It's the same way. Yeah.
You have to move on, good or bad, like next pitch. Like that was last pitch. Even though it struck her out, it's still the last pitch. Or if it's a ball in the dirt, next pitch.
That's why some people are like, you just struck her out. Like, be happy. Like, no, you have to like
Look
stay
for work.
grounded. You have to
Yeah.
stay grounded. You still have 2 more batters or one more batter.
And when people say like, good job, Faith, like while I'm still in my groove, I feel like people think that I am being mean or ignoring
You're
them.
upset. But no, you just have to stay grounded.
I just have to go thank you and then move on, because that's how fast it moves in the game. That's how fast it is in
Our
real
game
life.
is fast.
Mhm.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
like saying, like, if I do, like, not necessarily, this is something I would say to other people, but, like, if you make an error, get the next. I don't say, like, it's okay, it's all right, get the next.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Have-
I like to tell people, forget it like I already did. Like, 'cause-
yeah.
I love when you say that. No one's ever said that to me before.
because people are hard on themselves, and like
Yeah.
there's times where I actually forget about it. Like I don't hold on to that stuff. I forget it, and you should too, because no one else is remembering it.
Have any of you had any teammates or coaches that have helped you spiritually in any way this year?
Definitely ULEX, actually. Seeing where you started versus where you're at now is insane, like, of the power of the Holy Spirit and how he can work through people's lives. And I think Ronchan also is a really good example of how a person living for Christ should act and live.
I want to say, like, just being around all of the girls, it has helped me, like, build up. Like, it gives me an example of how to act and how not to act. And I think being able to see that, God himself, like, shows me how not to act and how to act, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like I've not always had that in my life. I've not always had like a how to act, how not to act. There's always just been people that just do what they want.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'm used to seeing people do whatever they want and act poorly to others, and then I come here and like there's more nice people than
Not.
not
I
nice
agree.
people.
Yeah.
More nice people than not nice people. And, like, the people that are good examples for me and, like, that I have my groove with, like, the amount of love that they show me and, like, I have for them is just crazy. And, like, that love only comes from loving Jesus first.
Yeah. Have you guys learned anything personally about yourselves this year?
I feel like I'm a lot more independent than,
You
not
thought
in a bad way, but than what I've been
before.
I came here. Like, I always was under my parents' thumb
I think
all
that's
the
part
time.
of growing up too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I was always abiding by my parents. Like, I still do, but I have learned to be more independent in who I am and trust myself and my decisions than just listening to my parents. And I'm not saying to not listen to your parents,
But space is good.
but yes, the space from my parents was good, and it let me grow up.
I've learned just going to college in general of that it's okay to be by yourself.
Yeah.
And, like, to enjoy that time by yourself, but that because I'm going somewhere by myself doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
I agree, yeah.
Like, at first, it was really hard, like, because I'd never been places by myself that much. Like,
I feel like that kind of goes with Faith, like being more
Mhm.
independent.
yeah.
Like, it's okay.
Yeah. And
It's okay.
also that in my head, sometimes I think that everybody hates me all the time.
Me too.
Like, but I'm learning that that's not true.
Yeah. That's a wrap on this episode of The Community, where we covered talking about the softball team here at Hannibal-LaGrange University. Huge thanks to Megan Riggs and Faith Hansen for joining me today and sharing their stories. It's been such a fun conversation, from laughs to lessons we've learned on the field and off the field. Thanks to everyone listening, whether you're tuning in as an athlete, student, or someone who just loves a good story. I'm Alexa Bedford, and I'll catch up with you next time.